Here we have a quick review of the KGB disappearing ink pen. Now, I bought this pen from eBay. It came in a silver foil bag, which I thought was brilliant. So nice, airtight, great seal, so there's less risk of the ink inside drying out. Now, I've had this for a few weeks. I always keep the cap firmly put on when I'm not using it, but it works an absolute treat. It does exactly what it says it should do. You write with it just like a normal Bic biro pen, ballpoint pen, and after, let's say you start seeing it after 5 minutes or so, but after an hour, it's completely disappeared. The ink's really disappeared. Now this, I wrote with a normal pen, and I did that really just to let you see that I'm using a standard piece of paper, nothing fancy, and I'm going to just quickly write a note here. Let's say, hello world, and something like KGB ink pen. So it's a kind of slightly lighter blue. I'm going to just draw something else underneath, so cut the lines so you can see where I've written them. Now I'm going to do a few other things, so I'm actually going to draw something. My drawing is fantastic. I'm going to draw a filled in circle because I think this is a real test for the ink as it fades. And I'm going to make those also. Let's make it a sun, why not, rather than just a boring old circle. So some great fun here. Now obviously what I'm going to do is set up a timer, my trusty Plex. It's a plastic plexi front screen, but it's a Hypiplas timer, and I'm going to just leave that timing away quite merrily, and I'm going to go make a cup of tea. Now what I will do is I'll come back after a few minutes, and I'm going to try not to move anything or knock the table, so you can see the counter. It's counting up in seconds, so it's got a little way to go. And the ink fading, you might already notice this line here starting to go. So all I'm going to do now is zoom in a little bit more on the page, so just bear with me. I'm going to make sure you can see the timer. There it is, just off the page, off the screen, sorry. I'm going to bring in this bag out the way, bring it off the way. And as you can see, this line here is already starting to fade, so I might move the pen a few times, but I'm not going to move the timer, and I'm not going to move the pad itself. Let's move it in a little bit more, and I'll come back over the time just to let you watch this fade. Only 3 minutes, and as you can see, already quite faint. And I'm going to just bring another little idea into shot as I come back and let you watch the ink fade. As you can see, the centre of the sun's still going quite strong, but the words are already going, and that other line I did there, the faint line there, almost gone. So you could use it for all kinds of tricks and fun KGB messages. You could, of course, write real messages saying, "Don't speak now, we're being bugged." But you could also do some semi-practical things. You could use it for crosswords and puzzle solving. So you've got all these kind of puzzle pages that you get in magazines, and you could actually then have the whole family use the same puzzle again and again. So there's lots of little tricks and ideas you can have. And there we are, coming up for 4 minutes. 9 minutes and almost all gone, isn't it? I'm going to get this wrong, am I? Spooky. Taking a long time to find these in the puzzle. As you can see, the ghost has also already nearly gone, and we're nearly there. Don't talk. Bugged. And other such secret messages are yours to think up and play with. I think what we're going to do now is go to the full 30 minutes, and then I'm going to zoom really close in. I'm going to just do a little bit quickly now, just to let you see. So although I'm not showing all of it, you can still see a few things here, and the centre of my sun is still showing a little bit, but it's coming along quite nicely, I think. Okay, 20 minutes have gone by, and it's really quite faint now. Even the sunspot's gone. Now this is the proper KGB gel ink pen. This is the real McCoy, so I know that after 24-48 hours it's absolutely got nothing at all. And it's actually very light to press, although I'm pressing quite hard, sorry, you don't need to. It's very light to write, I should say. So if I were to again do hello, I can do that in such a way that I know on the back of this paper, and of course if I were a spy I'd be doing it on a hard surface and not on another piece of paper, but you'd leave no indents as well. So the KGB really did invent something rather clever here, and rather good. And although I've not got a UV light to test this, They also claim that this was not detectable even under UV light, so this really is spies like us technology coming into our lives, and it's great fun. Now, I wouldn't want you to suggest having this pen as your spare pen to lend to somebody in an exam who keeps pestering you all year long and never brings their own pens. That would be an absolute cruel thing to do. Nor would I recommend that this is the pen you leave by the phone, and when you leave notes for who's called, leave messages. But there's a good deal of fun and larks you could certainly play with this pen. And okay, we're just coming up to 1 hour. So although this does only claim to totally disappear after 48 hours, I think it's already done a pretty good job. Again, I'm going to zoom in, just let you have a little look for yourself. So those that are really observant, this is the area that I was scribing rather heavy. There's the sunspot. There's a hello in there somewhere, but I certainly can't see it because I didn't press very hard at all. There goes my camera. It's having problems. That's the problem with invisible ink. There's nothing to focus on. Let me just pull back a little bit. So again, I'm going to come back, I do mean in a day's time, so the time is going to be goodness knows what minute. I'm going to do another gently written, I've done what I did in the hello, so let's do another world here. And we'll just keep adding to this as we go. But really does work. Make sure you buy the real McCoy. And there are, as always with these sort of things, fakes and disappearing ink pens that claim to be as good as this, but this Russian KGB disappearing ink pen is by far the best one and worth seeking it out, the real McCoy. Okay, more than 2 days have passed, so it's had its 48 hours, and I'm going to zoom in again, but I also want to write a little bit on here just to give you an idea. And I'm also going to circle around where I actually did the sun, so you'll be able to see when I zoom in a kind of shadowy area, kind of in this kind of area where I did a kind of crazy big sun earlier. That's just really to check for impressions in the paper. You can also see some other impressions, but there is no ink for the writing that I did 2 days ago. Now I keep writing on this pad and I keep having a bit of a laugh, so I've thought about doing IOU £5. You can always give that to somebody, let them put that in the wallet, and when you've got some more money in a week's time, you can say, okay, I can owe the debt if you just don't mind giving me the IOU back. But you can also do more macabre things, and I've got an idea for the end of this video. As you can see, it's coming to Halloween, so let's just zoom right in now. Let's get to have a look at this paper, see what's actually been happening with the paper. So right into that sun circle area. So as you can see, it is shadowy, but that is actually the well, that's more of a reflection of the fact that I pressed really hard on the paper. So I'm going to try and turn it over here, watch this as I cause havoc, and I pressed pretty hard, so if anything, the only place you can actually see things are, apart from the fresh ink, which I've just done by scribbling on to try and indicate where, but where I'm trying to sort of point now and get the camera to focus the most is the heart of that kind of sun, and that was by far the longest part of the drying process, and that took perhaps, for it to completely go, probably 24 hours, nearly a whole 24 hours, but certainly I haven't needed 2 days, even though I've waited that long. It's really just a case of making sure that the pens had the specified amount of time. But it's been great fun to do this. I think this pen is going to be very useful for pranks, etc., and certainly promises and perhaps even a few scary frights. So I found this ring, and want you to wear it. Now that doesn't seem so scary, and it seems like you're kind of doing a little promise, doesn't it? Now if you do that in kind of some bizarro handwriting and leave it on someone's counter, then it doesn't really mean anything. But coming up to Halloween, and when there's a sort of a finger and there's kind of sound effects in the background, well, and just leave it as is. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to like, subscribe and comment.